Okay, Dad. So let's fast forward to 1940-41. That was the start of World War II. Go ahead and let's talk about how you actually managed to get involved in the war, so to speak. Go ahead.
Okay, so even before the war started, anybody who was enrolled at the university had to join the ROTC unit,
The ROTC.
which was a requirement at the university. And those of us who were pre-med were placed in the medical battalion. And
So I'm sorry. So there was no way of getting out of the war. You had no choice.
yeah, there was.
Oh, was there? But you
So
did not want
anyway-
to. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
When the war started, Pearl Harbor was bombed on December 7,
1940,
1941.
1941.
And that was actually a Sunday in the Philippines. No, that was actually
On Monday
a Monday in the
Right.
Philippines, Sunday
in Hawaii
in Hawaii
and United States.
and U.S. So I was in the zoology class in the morning, and I was dissecting a frog, and then there was an announcement that the Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor, and even as the announcer was talking, we heard a lot of planes fly over Manila, and they started bombing.
Oh my.
So they bombed all of the ships that were in the port, in the pier section, and so they sank all of the ships, and they also bombed the airfield around Manila, and any planes that they saw at the airport of Manila, the Japanese also bombed those.
Was there a U.S. presence then? Any
Oh, yeah.
U.S. Air Force base or shipping base?
Yeah, well, this was the commercial base, but part of that was being used by the U.S.
Military.
Military.
Right.
So anyway, the option then was when they dismissed us from the zoology class, and then all of us were told to go to the ROTC building. And when we were at the building, the announcement was, for those who are able to go home should go home. So that means to say, all students whose homes were in Luzon, where Manila was located, can go home. But for those of us who came from either the Visayan Islands, the middle part of the Philippines, or Mindanao, like 26 of my other classmates did, we could not go home. So for those who had relatives in Manila, you could get dismissed and join your relatives. But for those of us who could not join, who had no relatives in Manila, I finally decided for myself that I was going to join the army.
Oh my.
And there were 25 other students. Only about 2 or 3 of them, 25 other students in the medical battalion who also could not go home because they were from Mindanao. And so we all decided to join the army.
Okay, tell me why. I remember
and
this.
the reason for joining that was if we were going to be stranded in Manila, then we were just going to die because we'd run out of money and we could not afford to pay the boarding house where we were staying because our money had to come from our parents who were not in Luzon. So I said, at least in the army, you'll get 3 meals a day.
I'll never forget that, Dad.
Instead of nothing if you were not in the army. So
Right. Okay, let's go ahead and pause this and then we'll take up.